name is Chizara Iheuwa, but I prefer to be called Zara, so my friends call me Zara. I'm 14 years old and I live in the UK. So originally I was born in America and I lived in Nigeria for about like 13 years of my life. But right now I'm living in the UK and I'm here in Huddersfield. So what do I like? I like football. I play football a lot. I play football in school during PE sometimes. Most of the time I play football in PE. I also play football on the weekend, during the weekends with my brothers. I have 3 brothers, an older one and 2 younger ones, and they're twins. But they don't really play football as much as I do, but like I have to deal with what I have. So so right now I'm here to talk about female genital mutilation. I first heard about it in school. I was taught in school, and I took quite an interest in the subject. So I'm doing a documentary about it right now, and I asked my dad, who's a filmmaker and an actor, to assist me during this project. So I'm here to talk about female genital mutilation, and this is my contribution. And I'm saying no and stop. Like, it's a very bad thing, and it should be stopped, and it should not be allowed. The title of my documentary is called Blade. So come along with me and I'll tell you what it's about. Female genital mutilation is the removal of the external female genitalia.
It is a case whereby the labia of a female private part is cut off and only leaves a small part for urination or menstruation.
There is no moral justification to this. It is very wrong. There's no moral justification. And on the other hand, there are so many negative impacts. Some of the negative impacts are the circumcised individual can bleed to death. They're going to have trouble giving birth or making love or reproducing. They're going to be hurt and pained both physically and mentally. They're going to be very traumatized. And I don't know, it's a very painful thing for someone to go through. So yeah, that is what female genital mutilation is, or female circumcision is. It's practiced in Africa, it's practiced in Asia. And it's something that needs to be looked into. And sometimes it depends on the culture even. Some girls are circumcised at the same time that boys are, at 5 years old. Some think that they should be circumcised at 15 to 19 years old. And it's quite heartbreaking that it is practiced, and it's something that needs to be looked into collectively from the physical and the government part of this. It needs to be like seen from the people that are being circumcised. So why is female genital mutilation practiced? These reasons, these questions, they vary from family to family, from city to city, from clan to clan, but there is no good reason why it is practiced. And some of the reasons are maybe their culture, or for them to be pure enough for marriage. And it's just like, there's no sense in it. It doesn't even make sense why these things are practiced at all. So some believe that they have to be pure for their husband, so that they can stay a virgin for their husband. Some also believe that if they are not cut or circumcised, that they tend to have these feelings towards men, or when they see boys, and they are attracted to the opposite gender when they see them. Some also believe that that it makes them more pure for their husband, and it gives their husband a more pleasant feeling when they're having intercourse with them or their partner. So how is FGM done? So it can be either done in a private home or in a community where girls are specifically cut. So if you're rich, you invite the practitioner over to your house to cut or to circumcise your daughter or the person getting circumcised, or you take them to the community where it's being practiced and cut. And most of the time, they don't even tell the girls that they are going to get circumcised or cut, and so they don't even have time to mentally prepare or physically prepare. They're just taken there, and it's done immediately. So it's either done with scissors, a knife, or scalpel, but it's mostly done with a razor blade. And these razor blades aren't even disinfected, so they carry all manner of diseases and infections that the girls are likely to carry. So what are the types of female genital mutilation? There are 4 types of female genital mutilation, and this is one of them. Number 1, the clitoris is removed from the external female genitalia. The second one is when the clitoris as well as the labia minora is also removed. So the third one is when the clitoris, the labia minora and the labia majora is removed, and the 2 endings are stitched together, leaving a small outlet where the individual is allowed to excrete urine and when of age, allowed to have their period and menstruate. The fourth one is when the clitoris, the labia minora and the labia majora are all removed and the surface is smoothing, and obviously it's very painful for the individual in question, and a tattoo is drawn on it. So it's obviously very, very painful for the individual getting circumcised.
According to the World Health Organization, FGM is practiced in 30 countries across Africa, the Middle East and Asia, with the largest proportion being in Western and Eastern Africa. Oftentimes it's believed that FGM promotes premarital virginity and prevents infidelity in marriages. It's also sometimes believed that FGM is more hygienic for women, which is completely untrue.
So, the taste of the eating is in the pudding. No, scratch that. The taste of the pudding is in the eating. So, I spoke to some mums. Would you like your daughter to go through FGM? And this is their reaction.
Yeah, who's that? Oh, Chizara. Nice to meet you. You okay, my darling? Lovely. Nice to meet you. Can you have a seat, my darling? All right. Here you go.
So thank you very much for having me. So I'm here to look at your impression on FGM and your opinion. So can we meet you, please?
My name is Grace Lucky Oraibo. I am a Nigerian with 2 kids. Currently I'm in the UK with my family. Been in Nigeria from when I was giving birth till some few years back, and currently I'm in the UK. Okay, FGM, it's an abbreviation of female genital mutilation, and I've heard about it. I've been able to read about it, which talks about female circumcision, to be precise. That's what it is. And individually, I've not experienced it. I've not really been close to anyone who has experienced it as well, but I've heard about it, I've read about it, I've met 1 or 2 persons who've talked about it, but on a one-on-one, I've not experienced it. But it's generally about the mutilation of the female genitals.
What do you know about female genital mutilation?
I know it's sometimes called female circumcision. You know, like the name says, female genital mutilation. It's actually cutting off, a part of the female genital, part of female genitals. That's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, why do you allow my sister to get circumcised?
No way. It doesn't have any health benefits, so I don't see any reason why any child should go through that. It's painful. It's dangerous to the health of the child as a girl. So there's no way I'm going to allow my children, my daughters, go through that.
Oh, okay, I see. So I have like a big question for you.
Okay.
So, were you circumcised by grandma?
Of course, no. Luckily, in my part of the world, in where I come from, you know, in Nigeria, that part of Nigeria, they don't do that. So luckily for me, I would say luckily, because if it was something that had been done in my part of the world, if it was our culture, then I'm sure we would have gone through it. But luckily for us, you know, it's not what we do, not part of our culture. So I would say we kind of escaped that, you know, in my family. But I've got friends that, yeah, two of them from one family that I know that were circumcised. And the funny thing is, they were already adults before the circumcision was done. So I think it's a horrible experience for any child, any person, any girl, any female to go through.
So how would you feel if you were to go through female genital mutilation?
How would I feel? I don't know. I mean, I think it just destroys you for life. It just leaves you shattered for life. As a female, you know, I didn't go through it, so I'm just imagining what they went through and how they're feeling right now. So if I were to go through it, of course, I would still be feeling that pain and the negatives that come, you know, that comes with it. So luckily, I didn't go through that.
Okay, so like I know you're my auntie, but for the purpose of this program, can you tell us who you are, please?
Okay, my name is Tolulope Erefe, and I'm the mother to these two beautiful girls.
Can you please tell us what you know about FGM?
FGM, like female genital mutilation. That word mutilation already scares me from, you know, that name alone. And I don't really have any personal experience as regards female genital mutilation. I've only seen it in like documentaries, read it in papers, you know, just seen it on the internet and stuff like that. And it's not something that I personally will subscribe to. I know it's common in some parts of Nigeria, I think, but it's just something that scares me from, you know, that word,
So
mutilation.
So do you like support young girls getting mutilated?
No, definitely 100% I don't support it, because I haven't seen like maybe or heard of people who have had it done. I've not seen the advantage or, you know, whatever it is that comes out of it. I don't think it makes any difference, because a lot of people haven't had, a lot of ladies haven't had they haven't been mutilated and they are fine. They're getting married, they're having kids, and they're living a normal life. So I really don't see, you know, the need or the value in having it done for ladies or females. Yeah.
Okay. So like, do you know anyone that has gone through that?
Not personally, but I know that back in the days, I watched one documentary that really got me, you know, some Hausa, like a series where they were trying to, you know, get people to know more about it, because it was quite common in that part of the world, and that's the only like experience I'll say I've heard or seen, and it was quite bad and scary for a young girl and everything she went through. So that's about it.
Okay, thank you for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, so you're trying to say that if anyone ever went through it, that they'd like be scarred for life, basically?
Yeah, scarred for life. That is the word. You know, scarred for life. Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, well, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been nice.
Okay, so is it true that the girl child who hasn't gone through FGM is prone to promiscuity?
No, it is not true. A girl child who hasn't gone through FGM is not prone to promiscuity. Promiscuity is a thing of the mind. It doesn't have anything to do with your genitals, how your genitals appear or how they come. It doesn't have anything to do with it. I want to strike you with this. The men, they are circumcised. Are they not promiscuous? Have they stopped being promiscuous? So what makes you feel that the female who is not circumcised will be promiscuous? Is a thing of the mind. When you want to be promiscuous, when you want to run after a man, when you want to run after a woman, it starts from your mind. And perhaps the friends you keep could make you to become promiscuous. Your peer pressure, your peer group those are the ones that could make you to become promiscuous, and not what they've done to your genitals. So I stand to say no to that. Thank you.
Okay, so if you knew any family that wants to subject their girl child to FGM, would you report to the authority?
Of course, I will. Like I said, this practice is archaic. It needs to be eradicated. It needs to be stopped. And stopping it is going to start from a particular person. And if I'm going to be the one who's going to make sure it is stopped, then I'm ready to take that trophy up and run with it. So definitely, if I find any family here in the UK who wants to get involved, get their girl child in that female genital mutilation, I'm going to report it so that the information can go round. My dear, I, Grace Lucky Oraibu, if I find any family getting any of their girl child involved in FGM, I will definitely report to the authorities.
So what is the trauma associated with female genital mutilation from an expert point of view?
I'm Miranda Arier and I'm Network Mental Health Lead for the BHR Primary Care Network in Leeds, and I'm also a trauma specialist and a mental health recovery specialist. So FGM stands for female genital mutilation, and that's exactly what it is. It's mutilation of the female genitalia, and it can range from a small prick in the clitoris, a symbolic prick in the clitoris, to extensive removal of vaginal areas, and it's mutilation, and it's extremely traumatic for women and young girls who encounter this practice. So even though FGM is illegal, it is still being practiced in many countries across the world, and we are still seeing some migrant communities, especially particularly in the area that I work in, who are coming with, the after effects of FGM. What I would say is that it's very important to reach out for help if you've encountered this kind of, quite frankly, barbaric practice. We do see in women that have encountered FGM really heightened risk of post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety disorders, sometimes dissociative disorders, and presenting with sometimes quite a shattered sense of self, really. We have to really raise awareness that the impacts of FGM are quite staggering for women. It's an abusive and violatory thing happening to the bodies of women, that a lot of women are not even consenting to, or some women might be coaxed into having under false pretense that it's good for them in whatever way, culturally or physically. This, we have to put a stop to it, and the way that we can start helping people through this system is by making sure that they are adequately cared for on both a mental and physical level. I would really recommend, if you might have encountered FGM, or if family members are trying to pressure you into FGM, because although it's illegal, it is still happening in certain parts in the world, and sometimes, sadly, even in the UK, there are occasional cases of it happening here. I would say that it's very important to seek help, particularly from your general practice. So if you go to your doctor and alert them to the fact that you've either had FGM, or you are at risk of being given FGM, or you're a parent that might be being pressured to make sure your child has FGM, please go to your doctor. There is plenty of organisations across the country, really, who are set up to provide support and help for people who've encountered FGM or at risk of that. So please reach out for help if it's something that you need. Aftercare is very important with something like that, and while the practice cannot be reversed, the mutilation cannot be reversed on the body, we can work therapeutically with people to make sure that the lasting effects of the trauma are minimised and that people encounter the aftercare that they need. So in the UK, FGM is classed as illegal due to the massive traumatic impact that it will have on women and young girls throughout their lives, really. However, we are still seeing so many cases of women and girls who are coming into our surgery, particularly in this area, the BHI Primary Care Network. We are still seeing so many cases of people coming in who've encountered FGM, and it is actually a long-lasting problem for all these women and girls. It's not something that just happens and then will go away. This is a condition that people will live with throughout their lives, not just physically, but also on an emotional level. FGM is illegal because it's considered as child abuse, not just emotional abuse, but also physical abuse for obvious reasons. The reasons that FGM is sometimes done within certain communities or cultures is there's a long list of different reasons, such as preserving honour as a family tradition, to consider chastity, sometimes in preparation for marriage. Some people see it as a means of cleanliness, but none of these reasons, are really something that constitutes justifying the genital mutilation of young women and girls. Within the law in the UK, it's also seen as illegal to try and convince someone to have FGM, to aid and abet the authorisation of FGM to a young woman or girl, because of the devastating health implications that it can have, not just on the mental health and the traumatic impact, but in some cases FGM has actually caused death. Thank you so much, Zara, for creating such an important piece of awareness raising with this project. It's so vital that people become more aware of the harmful impacts of this barbaric act of mutilation that's violating so many women and girls' bodies. And it's important that we raise awareness to people who might not even realise that this is a barbaric practice as well. So thank you so much, Zara, and thank you so much for getting me involved with this subject that I feel really, really passionately about. Working in the field of trauma, this is something that's inextricably linked with trauma. I don't believe you can have FGM without encountering severe trauma. So it's really great to be involved in such an important project. Thank you so much, Zara, for raising this awareness.
So people might be wondering why I'm doing this documentary, and although my voice is not strong enough, it might not go further, it might not go far enough, it might not be loud enough, but if this reaches the right audience, I hope that it will also reach the right person and female genital mutilation will be stopped. So I hope you enjoyed this program, and I hope that it was very educative and informative, and I hope that you really, really learned from it and how bad female genital mutilation is. Thank you for watching. My name is Iheuwa, and this is my contribution to female genital mutilation.